Hi! We're back! And today we're gonna talk about something a lot of people have been curious about since my gender identity isn't really concretely female or male. I have had a lot of people ask me questions about things that are about pregnancy and baby related and related to my gender identity, which I get. It's perfectly normal and natural to be curious. So I figured I would compile everything I have been asked into this neat little thing, and then you can watch it if you're curious. First really common question, what will the baby call you? In Swedish, which if you're new here is my native tongue, there isn't really a good gender neutral term for a parent. It doesn't really exist. We do have the term förälder, but that is more legal. In a legal sense, and it sounds very stiff, so that's not something I want to use. And since I am, for at least some days, pretty feminine, I have decided to go with mamma, which is the Swedish word for mom or mommy, depending on, you know, where you're from and your age and all of that jazz. It also stops the inevitable loop of go ask your dad that we would be in if I did not choose to use mom. And you know, I am also very aware that strangers who see me anywhere are probably gonna think, yeah, that's a woman. So it's also easier if a stranger ever asks them, where's your mom? They'll come to me and they won't be surprised. How do I handle doctor's visits? Pretty common question, especially around people who are also trans or gender non-conforming. I don't generally do anything different with my doctor's visits. I have a lot of midwife appointments, doctor's visits, blood work getting done because I am in a few risk groups for some stuff. And while it can be frustrating to be misgendered, it doesn't bother me enough to mention every time I see a new medical professional, because I have seen quite a few and there will be even more. I honestly don't have the energy to bring it up every single time, even though it does bother me. Those who know are usually people I have more to do with, so my midwife knows that I am non-binary, and those who do know have been respectful. Kind medical professionals should be more common, especially when it comes to these bigger things, more intimate things, but sadly that is not the case. I have been very lucky to have medical professionals around me who understand that though I have the organs of a biological woman, I don't identify as one. It's been a pretty nice experience so far, you know, medical professional wise. Are you struggling with more gender dysphoria? Is also a question that I get a lot, and I understand why. For those of you who don't know the specific term that I use to describe my gender, I am gender fluid, which means that on my more female days I am very comfortable with my body. On my more neutral days, I mean, it's okay. Usually, I don't really think about it that much on my neutral days. On my masculine days, however, I am very uncomfortable in my body. And the pregnancy has been difficult on those days, because I feel like this is not my body, this is not my body is supposed to be doing, but I still have to do it. I can't just pause it and then unpause it when I'm feeling more up to it. That's not how it works. I am, however, struggling less than I thought, which has been nice. I had heard some real horror stories about gender non-conforming or non-binary people being pregnant. I had heard awful things about dysphoria specific stuff. So I have been very lucky that my pregnancy has been easy in this regard. And something that mostly older people ask me, knowing that I don't really believe in traditional gender norms on a societal spectrum, is how will you raise the baby? And when they ask me how I will raise the baby or how we will raise the baby, they usually mean if it's a boy, he will be wearing blue, right? And things like that, like he is only allowed to play sports and go hunting with his dad. And if it's a girl, I should teach her to only cook and clean. And our baby girl, because it is a girl if you didn't know, she will be raised like any other child. I or my fiance are not gonna push her in any direction. No matter what she wants, we'll support it. Whatever it is, she will play with whatever toys she likes, she will wear whatever she likes, and she will have whatever hobbies she wants. It is that simple. That being said, knowing that I am by no means a girly girl, and I have never been, and my fiance is the kind of man that goes hunting for fun and for sport and loves fishing, I have a hard time seeing that she will be the girliest girl. But if she is, we're totally fine with that too. It's her choice. We're not gonna push her in any direction whatsoever. And if she grows up and against the odds identifies as something other than her gender that's assigned at birth, that's something that we will take the conversation then. If it happens, it happens. Is my pregnancy more different or more difficult due to my identity? I think that a lot of pregnancies are difficult, and most of them are difficult for very different reasons. So I am not gonna tell you that my pregnancy is more or less difficult than anyone else's. Of course, physically, my gender identity, I mean, it doesn't really do anything. There is no difference in the physical struggles that I have. Mentally, I think that while it's not more or less difficult than anyone else's, I think that it's different. There are other things and other struggles that non-binary people or trans folks have to deal with when they are pregnant that average mothers just don't have to think about. So yeah, mentally it's been difficult some days, but as I have had very little physical symptoms up until the second part of the second trimester, I think it evens out. So this is a deal I am kind of happy to take. How did I mentally prepare myself to be both an NB and pregnant at the same time? I read a lot of forums, personal experience from other non-binary people out there. There is less than I would like there to be, but there is some. I think it helps at least a little bit. You knew more what to expect. I also mentally prepared myself to be a lot more dysphoric than I have been. So I was very lucky in that sense. I also told a lot of close, or not a lot, a few close people about the worries regarding my identity and the pregnancy, and I still share, for example, problematic dysphoria stuff with them, and they have been an amazing support. So if you're non-binary or gender non-conforming or trans and you're considering getting pregnant, I recommend you do all of those things because it's gonna help a lot in the end. And the last question, which is also a very, very common one, because we do live in quite a rural area and some people still have some conservative opinions around here. Am I worried that my identity will affect her? I am worried that everything will affect her. I am worried that everything will affect her. A fly could land on a chair in China and I would be like, oh my god, this is gonna affect her college applications. So, short answer, yes. Yes, I am. I am worried that it might affect her. But after all, she does have 2 loving parents.
Love you too.
She has tons of loving relatives and a big support system outside the family as well. So I think she'll be just fine. Those were the questions I have been asked as a non-binary parent to be. I hope you found the answers insightful. And if you have some other questions, you can just leave them in the comments and I will answer them as well as and as quickly as I can. Thanks for watching this video about being non-binary and pregnant. I will be linking an old video right there that you can check out because apparently the YouTube algorithm thinks you would really like this one, so might be worth a try. Remember to subscribe to the channel and thank you so much for being supportive throughout my pregnancy. It has meant a lot to me. I will see you next time.